this.
Yeah, bro.
I'm amazingly coherent for sleeping 4.5 hours last night. So let's go.
That's what it is, though, man. We back in this thing. But see, that's the thing. It's we kind of unfortunately put ourselves through that type of stuff. Because similar to you, I wasn't at a function or a party or anything, bro. But I still went to bed at, like, let's just say 2. Then I'm up by 7:30. Not even, wasn't even 7:30, bro. It was like 7:13. I was like, no, I did not set an alarm. I didn't do any of that. And I was just like, damn, all right. Not even damn as far as like, oh, I'm mad, but just dang as far as like, I I wish I could have got a few more hours of sleep, but my internal clock said, no, you're jumping up.
Yeah, one of my cats woke me up this morning, so that was fun.
Oh, damn.
That's
Okay.
fine. It's fine. I napped yesterday. I had family dinner and I literally came home and passed the fuck out. You little psychos. Holy.
I feel you. But see, that's the beautiful thing about it, where it's like a love-hate thing, where it's like they had those awesome moments, but then those other moments where you're like, if I could have just slept for a little longer. It's funny shit.
I'm all right. I'm off today, so I don't care. Tomorrow I got to work, so it's all good.
Okay, back up in that thing. That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Doing what I can. But yeah, man, last night it was Alex's birthday party. It was already his birthday earlier this week, but like it was his party, and we did it at the pub in town. So yeah, that was a lot of people from high school that I hadn't seen in a while. So that was really interesting.
Makes sense. That's good, man. I'm glad he celebrated and he had a good time.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people he cared about.
It's something like it really shows like social skills. Like it really is something else, man. Like especially like interacting with people when you're like the soberest one of the group, like or one of the soberest ones of the group, and you're just like everyone else is like here and you're like here. You know what I mean? You know, like everyone else is doing their thing and you're trying to like what did you even just say? Like I couldn't get a word of that. Like or like I don't know. It's just interesting. Like especially now that I can't drink anymore. It's really been like a learning curve, like without having to lean on like the booze to help with the social lubricant. That's how I look at it. It doesn't really like
that's what it is.
It just helps things like get it, like everyone gets more comfortable and everyone gets looser with it. That's the easiest like thing with it. So not having that like to lean on, granted, I still got a ton of this hanging around and a bunch of, joints and all that, but like, it's different. It's different when you're like baked or anything like that. And everyone else is drunk as fuck, like wasted, like, and you're having to be like, you're trying to like help people and stuff like that at that point, because like, you know what I mean? But anyways, just not having to lean on the alcohol with that. It's been something like just having to lean on your like social, like your social abilities, right? Like just your conversating and whatnot, and just trying to keep a conversation with people you want to keep a conversation with, man. Like it's something that's been a learning curve for me.
No, it's good, man. And that it's like it shows growth, but beyond that, it's putting you in those environments where it's like, you might not be as comfortable as you would have been, granted you actually were drinking, but now that you're not, you can at least take that time to navigate through that new territory. And it's like you get a glimpse into like kind of like you can kind of choose to be like, if you didn't want to go straight social and talk to everyone and hold conversations, it kind of would give you a glimpse to be like a fly on the wall as far as just observing, as far as people watching. Like
that's half the fucking game of it.
Because it's like it's
even when I was drunk, that was half the game of it.
Yeah, but like when I took a trip or whatever, when I took a trip to Jamaica and I was tripping or whatever, and like, cause like that's like the most I drank in like, bro, I'm talking about like a few years, cause I don't be drinking like that. I might have a little white wine or a little something or 1, 2 or whatever, young lady or whatever. But on the flip side of that, it's like if you don't drink, that's kind of your norm. So when you do drink, like if someone like me, like when I do choose to drink, it is that social lubricant, because you find yourself, whether it's talking to whether it's like one of the random homies at the spot or the function or the lounge or whatever you're at. He's like, yo, man, next round's on me. And you don't really know this guy, but he just buys everybody drinks. y'all have a good drink, da, da, da. Next you know, you talk to a random lady at the bar and you're having a good conversation with her. Next you know, but it's because everybody's on that same kind of plane of, yo, man, we all feeling lit. We all feeling nice and groovy. And then it's like, when you kind of take that away, yeah, man, it's like you have to put on a different pair of shades, so to speak, and just be out here just chilling and shit. Just
Literally.
tripping. Like, but that's what it is, man. You look at the world through a different lens. And like, although like I know you mentioned you still be puffing the herbs and one, two, and that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but
It's different.
it's like you still have like a kind of like a clarity to it because you're not to that point of intoxication, right? So I mean, but it's good. Taking those strides in that direction, man. Like, only you are gonna notice a change, whether it's long term, and not even as far as being in social functions, as far as like with alcohol and stuff. Look at it from the other side, just whether you're in your day to day life. You're walking on the street. I live in Toronto, where it's like relatively busy, especially if it's on a sunny day, like today. You'll see a million people asking people like, just hey, how's it going, man? Nah, nah. Oh, hey, that's a fly ass jacket. Giving people compliments and shit like that. That shit will change people's day, and it has nothing to do with alcohol or drugs or nothing, but just that social element. We were like, I was watching a little clip with the rapper Redman just recently, like last week or whatever, he put it out, but I seen it today or yesterday or whatever, or yeah, today. And he was just saying like, yeah, man, we walk past people like we don't know motherfuckers and shit like that, and because we don't, everyone's a stranger with their head down and shit. But realistically, he was saying you got to walk with your head up and be paying attention, and we see somebody who might not look like they, you know what I mean? Just give them a little call. Hey man, that's a cool ass jacket, and then just keep it pushing or whatever. Something like that can change somebody's energy for the day or whatever, right? But when you remove that social lubricant, so to speak, I feel like that's one of the better experiences because then you're actually like having genuine interactions with people. You know?
It really is more genuine because like you're all, like I said, like you're not like you're not all like drunk as fuck. And those, even though those conversations can lead to like a lot of great things, that's why I have a lot of the friends I have, is because of those like 3 a.m. conversations where it's been like, you know, a ridiculous amount of booze deep, but like you're talking about like everything. But like still at the same time, it's really shows like, not like, because I've never been like the most social, you know me. I've never been like that. I've always been like kind of like a shy guy. I've never been like that. But so the drinking was always a way for like to help that, to help like alleviate that sort of thing and like get past that. But I feel like it it was just like a hurdle crosser sort of thing. And once I got crossed that hurdle and started like socializing and then started like doing it more often and not, then you gain those skills regardless like of what like you put in yourself. You have those skills in you. You just have to like get into it sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's literally just all about being like able to hold conversations with people or being like able to talk to people about certain things. And like you can't, and not everybody's going to be like the most like engaging person or the most like enthralling conversationalist. Like fuck, I know I've come off to like the most boring or like dickish to a lot of people these days because I'm like cool. You know, like I genuinely don't have the energy for these conversations at like 2-3 in the morning. Like I really don't, like, but whatever. But
So
at the same time,
if you want to engage Trent, catch him earlier in the day, people. Catch him
pretty
earlier
much
in the day.
when the sun is out, Trent's out, basically. Like I can play with that. I'm not like I don't stay up late. I don't. I'm too old for that shit now. Like unless I'm out doing shit like this, like I don't do that. Like I sleep. I go to bed early as much as I can because I like my sleep when I can. But here we are. But like honestly, it's just literally just about social, like just how like far I've come with like just my social like skills and like work in one thing and like being out and about with other people is another. But like honestly, it's just like you see like the levels of it, and especially when you're sober and you can see other people like having to like, as like they have some more drinks, they start loosening up and start like vibing with everybody else and whatnot. It's really fascinating. It's almost like watching like a nature, it's almost like watching nature, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's the
Like
thing.
Richard Attenborough, Planet Earth shit.
See, that's what's wild about it. Because then even to jump to another kind of conversation, as far it just has to do with communication, but at the same time, it's like sometimes I'll be wondering as far as like animals or like what, like, 'cause you're talking about watching nature, but just as far as animals and like how they communicate, how they evolve and how they like take their time and find new ways of doing things. Could you see the shit happening? I guess mainly with it's mainly with I guess like monkeys, gorillas, apes, things like that. That you I guess see it like more prominent as far as like you see them using tools now, or you see them using whatever now. But it's like all that type of shit is wild to me, bro. Like it's you see
I
the
think it
growth
was
within people. Yeah,
I think it was like a
bro,
few
you
years
see the growth.
few years back, it was actually official. They had moved into the Stone Age now, like the greater apes, like not like us, forgetting about us, but like the greater apes, they've moved, like evolved into
Yeah.
the Stone Age. So like you said, that's going to become more prominent as them using tools and whatnot because they started to adapt to it.
And how impressive is that type of shit where you think about it like I don't know, it's like I mean, looking at it from an animal standpoint, and then even looking at it from like somebody who would be looking like down on us, so to speak, as far as like if they were like giant beings looking down at us and seeing how we progress and shit, like, oh shit, they're using cars now. Oh shit, they're using well, like it's just it's weird to see like the
Like a
evolution of
reality
this
show for planet Earth.
basically, like because that's why it kind of sparked my like when you mentioned like it's like watching people or having those interactions or things like that could be similar to like as far as like watching nature or being in nature type of thing. It
It's
kind of like made me
anthropology.
think about that.
That's all anthropology is. It's just like watching people and like the group and how they interact with each other. That's really all it is when it comes down to it.
Where I
But
mean the
still,
shit it's this type of shit is or like certain fish underwater like they're so deep in the water where it's all black so they adapt and like some fish like form like lights or glowing, use some type of glowing
shit's
algae or
wild.
whatever to help them navigate. Shit's wild, bro. And it's like these are the kinds of things that make me think. Like for example, if there's ever as far as like inventions and shit like that, like on some like Tony Stark type shit, like Elon Musk type shit. Because we're the people who are inventing like or trying to find like flying bikes and shit like that. It's like, okay, we should be focusing this shit on like developing an apparatus that you put on your face that may treat it like gills and you can swim in underwater for long periods of time and different
Ooh.
shit. Like we should be on some
Like that
Iron
thing
Man
from
Tony
the
Stark type
Star
shit.
Wars movies they used in the first movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd fuck with that.
Shit like that, bro. Like I'm just because you see though there's like I guess there could be a correlation, but it's like you see apes and shit like that, they're starting to evolve and slowly but surely get to another phase in life. We're trying to get to another phase in life, but it's almost like we're trying to make things easier opposed to creating things that can alter. Like, because if people are swimming underwater, not saying that we will always be doing it, but if people are swimming underwater with those apparatuses on their face, with those little like the things that they hold with the little like spinning fan that like propels them, you know what I'm talking about? Those little yeah, like
Yeah, through
you just
scuba
be flying.
diving.
Yeah, like you just be gliding through the water like a motherfucker. You don't have to rely on oxygen as far as like the actual tanks or worry about them combusting or whatever when you get too low and the pressure crushes the canister or whatever. Nah, or like even like those like little scale like it's a whole suit. So your whole body and your bones don't start to crush when you go under like water and shit. Bro, I'm putting all types of genius inventions out there for free and
Hit
shit.
up Graham.
I mean, like I didn't patent it or anything, but I'm just saying hypothetically, for you to be able to develop these types of things and help us like actually explore new possibilities versus like just oh I'm gonna build an electric car. Okay, well I'm gonna build an electric car that has a sunroof. Okay, well I'm gonna build an electric car that whatever. Like and it's just like variations versus where one person's choose. Okay, well I'm gonna focus and build the next suit that you can a new levitation suit like those flying squirrel suits or whatever, but it has a jetpack on the back or some type of thing to propel you forward versus so it's like now humans are in the air or whatever. But just I don't know. Maybe I'm just spitballing random ideas, bro. But I'm just saying from a standpoint of like when you see like certain evolution or like it comes from like interacting with other people, like what if these certain people have like the wherewithal to interact with other like-minded people, but it wasn't all for like greed or like you know what I mean? Like capitalizing. It was more for like, okay, well, how are we going to propel humanity forward? Like, then they start building these types of inventions that will fucking truly assist us, right?
That's the
Versus,
thing. Just happen to have that mentality propel us forward, as opposed to just putting out like another product to be bought and sold, like another version of an iPhone or another version of a PlayStation or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to
Yeah.
like doing stuff like that. It's putting the energy into inventions or like innovations that'll make things different and make things like, you know, better is subjective, I guess. We could that's a whole other debate in and of itself, but definitely make things different and experience like new experiences for people, like you said, even if it's like an underwater guild, because that would be fucking dope. I would rock if it was like a full on like Iron Man suit, all that bullshit. Oh yeah, I would rock that.
Yeah.
I would rock that.
Yeah.
Because
where your body won't crush. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not the greatest swimmer in the world. If I had something like a bit of a propeller and all that with a suit and all that, yeah. We're gonna go deep exploring in caves and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. There's no like, and don't get me wrong. I know it could be very like arrogant or whatever to be like, well, we should be doing, and it's not about saying like, because it takes a whole bunch of people's efforts and things like that to create those types of products, so to speak, or inventions, so to speak. But I'm just saying the amount of time we're like putting into like, oh, doing like some type of like making it where people who unfortunately have a peanut allergy, we're trying to make inventions so that those people can have peanuts. And it's like, okay, I get it. That shit is helpful, but at the same time, it's like we can be putting certain energy into, again, things that might assist like everybody can swim underwater with the apparatus on their, or that suit, Iron Man suit, or everybody can fly in the air with like some type of like, you know what I mean, like proper like
Dreams.
again. I know I'm talking about it as if we're in the fucking MCU or whatever. I'm talking about it as if we're in the era of you know, but we have geniuses, we have different people who, or even shit like to have something, to invent something to purify water. I know there's certain filters and shit like that, filtration systems, but I'm saying from a standpoint of, it's like you pour the water in it, the water that comes out is 100% drinkable. It doesn't matter what type of water it was, shit like that. It could have all the harshest bacteria and diseases and shit in the water. As soon as you pour it in that shit, bing, purified. And then you say to yourself, "Oh shit, we're in the game now. We're in a different stratosphere now." Because at that point, now it turns into, we have so much reusable water. We can go take any, like, I don't know. I just looking at it from a standpoint of like both biological and like technological. It's like, how does one converge those two worlds so that you're not ever stressed, like you're not ever thinking of a standpoint of like, yo, we're too late kind of thing, as far as like whole environmental type situation, right? I don't know. I guess that's kind of where my brain sparks, just from the thought of one interacting with nature or viewing others and kind of correlating that to nature, so to speak.
For me, I want to. It's more about like giving back to nature without like taking too much from nature. You know what I mean? Like, especially if we're gonna like push forward with these technologies, it's like, okay, if we're gonna do this stuff, let's not do stuff that's gonna like destroy this planet that we have on still, like just for the sake of having these cool inventions. You know what I mean? Like, keep mining, like destroying these planets, for destroying the planet for freaking plastic and lithium, so we can build cell phones and laptops, so we like all this, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to do that, but like it's another thing to like make inventions so like, oh, we can have like you said, like we're like water from anywhere sort of source, so we don't have to worry about like plastic water, like plastic bottled water and shit like that, and that could be a thing of the past. Like there's so many ideas like that. I can't even think off the top of my head some of them, like just like just it's, but like that's where my head's at with that, especially like, I don't know I know how we've been raised, like climate change was an actual thing, like to us, you know, like generations before that was like, oh, maybe we should recycle sort of thing. And now it's like drilled into us from this age. So it's like, it's just that I've always had that sort of like, hey, let's not, you know, especially if we're going to talk about like enjoying nature and getting interactions with nature, let's not fuck it up just for the sake of like enjoying it further. Like I never understood that logic. I've always had the Boy Scout, the Boy Scout code, take nothing but pictures and leave nothing but footprints. But my brother added it. My brother added a thing that, but sticks on the ground are fair game.
Facts. There you go. But no, man, it's just, but see, even to that point, it's like the technology is not, it doesn't always relate to like metal and plastics and things of that nature. Like I'm talking about even like in the context of like building like wind, like somehow building like, I know wood technically you'd have to use trees to do it or whatever, but it's like making like turbines, shit like that that might cause like I don't know, just as far as like, or having like the current of a lake or a river or some shit power something or whatever. Like just these types of
That's
like,
what I'm talking about.
yeah, it's like you like we're not trying to, it's not about like messing up the nature, but it's like preserving it to the fullest, but having it kind of have like one hand wash the other, like having it help humanity as far, not, I know it being there, like just a tree being in a field is what it is, like that's its purpose. It doesn't need to do anything more than that. But then you fuck around and like you have something that like you have certain plant a few more trees and you have some shit where I don't know, just something where it's like you try to nourish the whole environment. But I know it's hard
while
because
using it at the same time for
yeah,
purposes. Yeah,
so
I
it's
get what
like,
you're saying.
yeah, I mean, but it's like, but it's and it's not even about trying to oversimplify it, but it's about saying like if we have the means to do said things, it's like well, shit, we should be doing said things versus like, but I was having a when I was in a biology class a few weeks ago. Yeah, man, like it was different because it's like we're talking about these kind of things, how it sucks, but like the whole like greed or not to just put it as just greed, but just the love of money, the wanting of excess causes one to
Greed's the shorthand for all that, frankly.
but it's like yeah, but it's like you're I don't know. It's like they have to put their time into things that obviously will just make them money, make them immediate profits because that's what we live in. But then if you go to those like where certain people like, oh, I'm philanthropic and I have this foundation, I have this, that, and third, and it's like those foundations are probably doing work, but then it's like if you have the means to create these things that can help people worldwide,
Why
it's
not?
like one has to try to do it. That's why don't get me wrong, bro. I'm not really like a big like I played a lottery at 1-2 times, but if ever I would have won some type of big ass amount of money, bro, I'd have to. I'm telling you, like I said it in the earlier episodes probably, but I'm turning into G Wayne and shit. I'm Bruce Wayne and shit automatically because it turns into like you have these opportunities to invent, and I know these, and that's why I'm saying it from a standpoint of I know these things take a lot of money, time, effort, and more than just you. It takes a whole team to build something that can purify water, so you can bring it to places that do not like places in overseas or whatever that don't have clean water, and obviously places here as well. It takes time, effort, etc. And I get that, but it's like we're spending our time developing fucking whatever anyway. So why not put it into some shit that's gonna assist everybody? You know, like and like the guy with the insulin situation, how he didn't patent it or whatever, right? Like, sorry, I don't know the gentleman's name.
Jonas Salk.
There you go, so that everybody can use it versus trying to be a greedy bastard and be like, no, everybody got to pay me. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure he got paid like in a certain way or whatever, but he didn't put a chokehold on his knowledge or the thing that he like pushed forward. These are the types of things that we gotta like the mentality we gotta have. Like I know like the Elon Musk and different people like that. I'm not saying his name as far as like he's a bad person. I don't know who he is. I don't know what his character is. I don't know. So I can't just say he's a bad person. What I'm saying
That's
is
a whole other podcast.
because it's like everyone has their opinion. So it's like everyone has their 2 pennies, so to say, right? Their 2 cents.
5 cents.
Yeah, man. But I don't know. I'm just looking at it from a standpoint of being able to like invent these things or have the mental capacity or the ingenuity to actually complete these tasks. It kind of makes it seem like one should. Again, everyone has their free will, free choice. I'm not saying anyone should do anything. I'm just saying it just feels like one should. Like, why have all types of knowledge and understanding and resources and things like that, just to say, yeah, I'm cool. It's like, again, it's everyone's choice. I'm not telling. I'm just saying it from a standpoint of if we were really trying to better the world. Not saying we are. Just saying if we were. I guess that's where my mindset or my remarks are coming from.
Well, see, that's I think the difference between like us and them sort of thing. And I hate to make it like an us and them sort of thing, but we have that mentality of, hey, if we had this money, we're going to do the greater good with this sort of thing. They're like, well, we've got this money, let's just stack it to the roof. You know what I mean? And it's one thing to stack it to the roof to do the greater good, but it's one thing just to stack it to the roof and just do like, buy a big fuck off mansion in this part of the world that has like the most like gentrified neighborhood and people are living on the streets and it looks like World War III hit friggin' downtown LA. You know what I mean? Like there's it's just a different mentality, right? So if people like us had the money, that would be a different story. But right now, this is how it rolls. But yeah, it's more about fermenting this mentality for people, because when you change like how you relate to the power system and like the system and like whatever at large, you change the system as a whole because of how your interaction with it. And by large, if you can do that with other people and change how they interact with it, everything changes.
For real, man. And that's seeing that even to that point, like about like people who have like excess or money or whatever. It's like I'm not correlating people who have excess to people who are straight up just greedy, or people who have access to people who are like you're automatically a villain or you're automatically a douche or whatever. I'm not saying that because you can be doing a lot of things that people don't see. And just because you were intelligent enough or you had the wherewithal or the willpower to discipline yourself to get to that point, make certain deals, make certain money. I can't fault you for that and be like, "Whoa, that's rich bastard." Especially if you just came to that money on your own, like to your own making. Like I can't sit there and it's not about judgment saying immediately you're a jerk or you're an asshole or even you're greedy, because you might be doing some things to provide for the community you're in that I don't know about. So I can't just put that judgment on. What I'm saying is, because I'm not perfect. I might fuck around and do some of that gaudy shit too, right? As far as you get a house that's big enough to fit your whole family. Yes, it's a mansion, but at least you know what I mean? You be tripping. But yeah, man, no, we ain't tripping. We ain't tripping. We got the reminder. But no, bro, I'm just saying it's a different approach, bro. And I don't want to have it where, because you might fuck around, or if you come up on the lottery or whatever, Trent, and you win 50 million. Nobody's telling you have to spend 45 million of that on the planet. You can choose to do that, but nobody's telling you have to.
No.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying, like, I don't want us to kind of give up I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, you can have your opinion. I have my opinion, but I don't want the people to think that we're just automatically judging motherfuckers if they come up with some type of money or if they get excess. I get it. That is what it is. It's excess because you might get to a point where you can't spend enough money in your lifetime. And that is when technically, yes, you should be helping motherfuckers, because you're not going to be able to spend that anyway. But
exactly,
I don't know, but
that's basically it. Like if you have that excess and you're like, you can't spend it in your lifetime, you've already spent it on like, you've already helped like your family around you sort of thing. Like, so they have all that, like, yeah. Time to spend that money somewhere, to give that money to like the greater good, do some good with that money. But that's just me.
See, and that's real shit though, because it's like I realize like you kind of have to do a lot of research to find that there are people who are doing the things that you need assistance with. AKA, I was talking about that Iron Man type shit. If there's not a group or company that's already kind of slowly but surely developing that type of technology that if I now put money or resources into, we can now in a way speed up the process. That's different than starting from scratch. That's why like I can't just talk shit as far as being like, yo, there should already be people who have like flying suits, or there should already be, because not everybody's working on this, or not everybody thinks that's important. And I'm not talking about it as if it is the most important. Water purification, some type of device that, like how that one lady, well, there can be a whole nother episode, but there was I just recently heard like there was like a documentary about like a woman who basically faked like kind of being the next Steve Jobs and saying that she had like this device that could it's like a blood tester that can tell you any disease you have or da 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 da. But it was fake. It was fake. There was no like at least the research I was learning about. That whole process she was talking about was fake. She had a call when she was in college. She was talking about it with a college professor, and he let her know that it's possible to make that type of technology. But I'm saying all that to say, if that type of technology is already invented and there is promise and things like that, and you can assist with the money or resources to help speed up the process, get it done properly, get it approved by all the proper channels, then that shit is amazing and you can kind of push forward. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to just because you have the money. So I guess that's kind of where I'm trying to clear up for anybody listening. Like, I ain't telling you what to do with your pockets. It is what it is. I'm just saying, if you have access, shit, you can do a lot more good in this world than bad if you choose to, right? But the choice is all up to you.
Who shares wins. That's something I always wrote. That's something I rule by. Growing up with siblings, you have to.
Yeah, that's real shit, though. That's real shit. But yo, man, but you're okay otherwise, like mentally.
I'm great, man. I can't complain. I'm still here and still kicking.
And you said you're going to work, so you're back in the game. Okay.
Sorta.
Yeah,
I'm working here and there, but it is what it is.
Hey, bro, it's all love, bro. And that's what it is. Like, just take your time, get yourself to that mental clarity and that mental peace and mental like place that you want to be in. And after that, everything else ain't even that deep. That's why I like the fact that when I went on that trip and came back, understanding that there's a lot of things I need to change within myself, gratitude and things of that nature. Like, I was always grateful, but now it's like extra grateful. Like, bruh, man's got it good. So it's like again, that's kind of the whole like source or nucleus of how I be living nowadays, man. It's just, it don't make sense to me to be on that extra stress type mentality and shit like that, you know?
I agree. I've got this, I've got what I have, and I'm very happy for what I have with that. So everything else to me is just excess. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Because it's like we have a lot more than we think, and I guess that's kind of like a key kind of idea, so to speak, where it's like we got to make sure we're being extra like appreciative for what we actually have, opposed to being like, yo, man, I don't got this, man. How come he got? It's like, fuck all that. Pay attention to what you have, and from that point forward, it's all groovy, man. Love yourself.
Exactly.
Yo, I don't know if I know we kind of on the crunch. We on the tip.
It's all good, man.
It's all good. We out here. Yeah, man. But that was good. I feel like yeah, the people got to hear this and understand, like, yo, if ever you get to a point of excess, just don't forget the little guy. You know what I mean? Or the little
Never.
people who helped you out. You know, because I promise you help them out, the world's gonna get better, and that's how you get remembered. That's how your name gets carved in the stars, bro. That's how you get remembered in time, bro. Like, you was a motherfucker that always looked out for people. Like, that's the real. That's somebody truly being real, not all that other fake ish. But yo, to the people listening, my name is Graham.
I'm Trent.
This is another episode of Ultra Fly Talk. Thank you for rocking with us. Take care.